Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Ilana Herman. We're here at the Young Child Expo and Conference in New York City, and we're going to be checking out some innovative products. Let's take a closer look. As a speech pathologist, you've seen a lot of patients who struggle with eating in nursing homes, and you created a really interesting product to help those who really can't help themselves. So tell us a little bit about your product.
So the idea of the independent feeding tray came about from my many years of working in long-term care and short-term rehab facilities and watching our patients who have suffered a stroke, Parkinson's disease, other neurological diseases, trying to feed themselves and struggling, especially when it comes time to eat their dessert, the ice cream, the pudding, the Jell-O, the fruit cup, and they have the use of only one hand. It's very difficult to stabilize a cup and to scoop when you have the use of only one hand, which is why I came up with the idea of the independent feeding tray, which has the molded cup molded to the tray, and you can put the ice cream, pudding, Jell-O, applesauce in this molded cup, and it will secure it, and then you're able to use your one hand that you are able to use, your stronger hand, and feed yourself independently, which is the goal of the independent feeding tray, to maintain independence and dignity during meals or having snacks, because that's what we all want for ourselves, to be as independent as possible. And this is really applicable for adults and for children in hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and at home.
And you've taken this product to different nursing homes, and what has been some of their reactions to the product?
Wonderful reactions. Even with working with my patients, I would have them try it and ask them what did they feel? How did they feel using something like this? And the response I had was, wow, this is great. I can do this by myself. I won't need anyone to help me. I've heard many comments today at this wonderful expo of that it's functional, that it builds independence, that it can help children feel better about themselves, because no one wants to feel different. None of us, not as adults and not as children. We don't want to be different. We want to be able to do for ourselves.
And it's very important. And what's great about this product is that it's simple. It's not a complicated product. Where in here you just inside there's the grooves. You put the product, you put the yogurt in or whatever it is, and it just stays.
Exactly.
And so how does it work when you actually put it down on someone's table?
Well, this is just a prototype. If it's in a nursing home or hospital, they would have the full-size tray, and it would have rubber stoppers so that it wouldn't slide. If it is going to be used in the home, we could have this size, which would work better. And again, it would have the rubber stoppers, so that it won't slide, and therefore allows you to do this independently.
And it's great because this works in the nursing home and also works outside the nursing home. So if it's children or elderly who a lot of times are at home and they have their helpers, it's just a simple way for them to live more comfortably.
Right, and I think you just said something very important, because if you're in a nursing home, you do need the help. Then you need the nursing assistant, or you need a family member who's there to assist the patient with eating. So this certainly frees up the staff to do other things that they need to do. And I think it also is helpful for families to take that step back and see their loved one being able to do as much as they can by themselves. Also, at home, the same thing goes, because if someone has had a stroke and they do go home after short-term rehab, how wonderful for them to be as independent at home, for children as well, to help them be as independent as possible.
One of the things that are, I think, really important to understand is that there's different ways in which people eat, right? And so you have, if someone has a stroke on the right side or left side, it's actually a very different type of eating mechanism that you need. And so with this, you can see that there's one on the right side, and then you have one on the left side. Why is it? It's not intuitive. Like people say, oh, why can't you just turn it around, right? So talk about like why it's important to have a right and left side.
Okay. The reason why it won't work when you turn it, which of course it would be more cost effective to do it, the only thing is if I were now feeding myself with a left hand, I would have to reach all the way back there to reach that applesauce. And the whole idea is to make it as easy as possible, which is why if you do it in the front, either on the right or front on the left, it really, because we want to facilitate independence. I don't want to make it harder for someone to feed themselves. You don't want it to drip all over. If you're eating ice cream, you don't want it to come from the back to the front,
Right.
which is why we're going to do it either on the right side or front or on the left side, the front.
Great. Where can people learn more about the independent feeding tray?
They will go to independentfeedingtray.com.
Great. Well, good luck with all of your work. It's really an important technology and innovation.
Thank you.